What's up, everybody? I hope you guys have been having a great day wherever you are. I have an absolutely awesome video today. I'm going to be playing 18 holes at Old Head Golf Links in Cork, Ireland. This course is absolutely nuts, and I'm sure if you guys saw from the thumbnail, there are some pretty incredible views on this course. It is literally on its own peninsula, pretty much on its own island. There's only one way in or out, and the landmass in which you drive in is maybe 100 yards wide at the most. Just an absolutely incredible place. And I'm sure some of you guys have heard of this place. And really had a lot of fun. Happened to catch a perfect day. Obviously in Ireland, not too many days where it's 80 degrees, sunny, and winds under 5 miles an hour. But this was one of those days. So really just an incredible time. And I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I played really well on this day, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'm excited to get into it. And before I get into it, just so you guys know, I'd like to announce a new schedule. So I will be uploading an 18-hole video every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, or as close to that as I can, for the foreseeable future. I think it's very important for me to get on a more consistent schedule now that I'm frequently uploading content again. And I just wanted to thank you guys for their support the last couple of videos. I really enjoy engaging with you guys and entertaining you guys as best I can. It's something I really enjoy. So with that being said, let's hop into it. So off to a solid start here on hole 1. And this is some of the historical, I guess you could say, plaques. We are playing on, it's actually called the Old Head. And the Old Head of Kinsale, I believe. And from what I remember, there has been a light on this property for almost 10 centuries of some kind, whether it's a torchlight or a lighthouse. And these are some of the remnants of the building. So if you guys want to pause and read some of that stuff, feel free. It's just a really incredible view. And as I'm saying this, you definitely want to be careful when you're driving this cart. So I did my best to get a view for you guys while I was driving, and it's just nothing short of incredible. I don't know what else to say about it, especially when you catch it on a day like today with the weather being perfect. And I mean, I don't necessarily even think I need to say much other than just, you guys seeing it. It really speaks for itself. So now to hole 2, 406 yards, but playing downhill, but slightly downwind. And I hit a really good shot here. It's fading back to the right. Very aggressive, but I knew this would be the perfect distance for my driver. And I actually bounced it on the back edge of the green and went a little bit long, but I can't complain there. So off to a really good start here. I have about maybe, 15-yard chip shot. And see if I can cozy this on up close. See, just a little bit of a tailwind there, so it kind of stopped that ball a little bit more than it should have if there wasn't any wind. But, it's been a lot of fun getting a lot more into the game. Over the last maybe 4 or 5 years, I really sunk my teeth into long drive, and I'm not necessarily leaving long drive, but I'm sure a lot of you guys can maybe infer I'm definitely putting a lot more effort into my game now. So there was, I don't know how many of you guys remember this, but there was a Creator Classic tournament at East Lake a couple weeks ago, and this was a pretty quiet thing, but I was actually first alternate, and I'm planning on competing in all of the Creator Classic tournaments next year, and I feel like that'd be a great segue to start getting dialed in for tournament competition. So really excited for that. So off to a good start here, 1 under through 2. Third hole, par 3. I'm just trying to bring it in from the right. Obviously, as you guys can see, going left is not a good play. So pretty solid leave here on the right side of the green. A little bit long, but can't complain too much. But again, I honestly, the hard part about this golf course was really staying focused on my game, because it was so hard to not think about the views and just the overall scenery. And it's hard to really do it justice, just how far of a drop it is to that water, but it's at least, I would say, 300 feet down all the way to the water, which is just crazy. So this putt is tracking pretty good. Really great lag putt. Can't really complain about that at all. So I will walk in and clean that up for a 3. And it's just crazy looking at this playback. This actually was probably about, a couple months ago. But I mean, so I'm now kind of seeing it again, and it really is insane how good the weather was on this day. And there's the Old Head Lighthouse. I do believe it's automated now. I think in the 80s they automated the lighthouse, but up until then, for 1,000 years, someone had been in charge of a light being on that Old Head property, so that's kind of crazy. So now on hole 4, similar shot here, just playing a peeler off the left edge of the cliff. Moving pretty much exactly where I wanted to. My goal is to start it up the left edge of the fairway, just kind of peel it back towards that lighthouse. And left myself in a pretty good spot here. Decent amount of green to work with. The big thing here, since I'm in the rough, I just got to be very careful about not letting the shot get away from me. What I mean by that is not allowing, a flyer or something of that sort. And I feel like I did a good job here, just a little bit too good of a job, as you guys can see. Just barely gets hung up on the fringe. If that flew maybe 2 more yards, that would have been really, really close. You guys can see how close that hazard comes in on the left edge of the green, so you don't want to mess with that too much. So I have about 20 feet here for my 3. Getting good line, just didn't quite give it enough cowbell. Can't be too upset about that. Anytime you have like maybe 25 feet, yeah, you want to make it, but really you just don't want to have anything to think about after that. And I've always believed this, like, technically, doesn't matter if you leave yourself a 3-footer or a 1-footer if you make them. I guess it technically doesn't, but golf is an 18-hole game. It's a 5-hour sport, and I feel like if you have like say in the front 9, all you're doing is leaving yourself tap-in pars versus you've had to grind your way through like 4 or 5 putts from 3 to 5 feet that you left yourself to save pars. I really do feel like on the back 9, you're more susceptible to mental mistakes, and it just gets tougher to manage your energy. So that's why I feel like being able to hit your lag putts to tap in distances from 20 to 30 feet is like a very underrated skill in the game, because it really does weigh on your brain. The longer you go making those 3 to 5 footers when you could just be tapping putts in if you had better speed control, I definitely do think it makes a difference, going forward throughout the round, later on. Just something to think about. So I tried to play a little flighted shot here. Just didn't want it to get too crazy with the fly or lie. And that's something I always have to fight, is the fly or lies, because given the speed I create, they're heavily exaggerated compared to the normal person. So a little bit long here, but not a terrible spot. I was actually on the front right part of that path, so I took a drop. And I have about 4 or 5 feet left here to save my par. See if we can roll it in. Really good roll there. 1 under through 5 still. It always seems like those are really the ones that just keep a hot round going. Like, yeah, you can make the birdies and keep getting further under par, but I just think those 3 to 5 foot par putts, there's just something about rolling those in the center of the cup that just keeps you in such a good headspace that I feel like is very conducive to making more and more birdies and building on that round. So par 5 here, hit a really good drive, just peeling it up the right side. And I think this is fractionally into the wind. Again, I would say maybe the wind peaked at 7 or 8 miles an hour, which is just crazy. I mean, there might be a gust or two here and there that were double digits, but I mean, it was very, very sparing. I talked to the superintendent and the head pro. I think his name was Enda. And he said this is almost anomalous. I mean, he's like, you might have 10 or 15 days a year that are like this. And I've seen other videos, believe me, I believe him, because, when you're in Ireland and you're this exposed, I mean, it should be blowing 30 every day. I mean, it's crazy. I was shocked. Because this footage is all part of like a world tour thing I did, and you guys will definitely be seeing more footage of that in the coming weeks. I was 100% expecting to be playing in driving wind and rain the entire time, but it really, really worked out a lot better than I could have expected. So this is a delicate little chip shot here. I don't know why, I just sometimes struggle with these tight lies, and I think it's just because my brain kind of like has like a spasm at the top of my swing on these tight chip shots, where it's just like, oh my god, we better not blade it or chunk it, and it definitely makes things tough. So I'm definitely working on that. I've actually been seeing Dr. Bob Rotella. For those of you guys who aren't aware, that's probably one of the 2 or 3 top sports psychologists in the world, at least in the game of golf. And I started working with him when I was 16, and he's been a huge help to my game. And I'm definitely excited to see going forward, how much further we can push with my golf game. And yeah, just another incredible view. I mean, it's really insane. And just so you guys know, like, I mean, it really doesn't, like, it looks great on camera, but I mean, to see it in person is it's just a different level. I don't even know what to say. But I believe this is the Irish Sea. I could be wrong. But I mean, it was just such an incredible experience. I mean, what other course where you casually teeing off, and to the left, as you see here, there's a 4th-century-old cottage that a lighthouse keeper used to live in. I mean, it's just crazy. So I think there's a 7-iron here. I think this is a bit of a headwind, so I had to play it a little bit more club. Tugged it left, but obviously that is the miss. I've really done a great job of playing away from, the edges of the old head property, which is obviously not a spot you want to go. So I have about a 15-yard chip here. And honestly, this is a really great chip. I've always struggled with, hanging lies on chip shots. I don't know why. I guess maybe it's because I tend to come from the inside on a lot of my shots, and it's definitely not a complimentary setup to hit a hanging lie coming from the inside. So I think it just sometimes messes with my brain a little bit. But again, another solid up and down. So we're cruising. I mean, we're through 7 here, and we are just cruising right along. And also, I must admit, there's a hole in the back 9 that I turned into a 300-yard par 3. It might be one of the craziest things I've ever done, so just stay tuned for that. And also, if you guys are enjoying this so far, if you guys could drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already, I really appreciate it, because it is a lot of work to make these videos and still have a full, practice schedule. But I really do enjoy making these videos, and I really want to grow this community as much as possible. And I just want to show you guys enjoyable golf at great golf courses that I think you guys will enjoy watching. And if I'm able to entertain you guys for 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes once a week, that's what this is all about, And speaking of entertainment, I believe that is a rooster, but I could be wrong. That was not in my bingo card to see a rooster while playing this course, but I can't say I was upset at seeing him. I don't know what he's doing, but I guess he's got some food and a mate out there he's having fun with, so more power to him. And this wind was sweeping right to left here, so just hit your classic little sweeper, just kind of fell to the left, and I'm left with an extremely difficult chip shot. It's funny though, like on camera, and this is just my opinion, it always seems to look easier than it actually looked in person. When I might as well have had like a wave of tsunami coming at me with how sharp that crest is on that mound. But I hit pretty much perfect shot, flew it the perfect distance, and it ran out to a couple feet. And I've got about 2.5 feet left here to clean up my birdie. Again, just don't think about it too much. Walk up and brush her on in. So that was a really great birdie. It felt really good. And it's always definitely more rewarding for me when I, make those birdies on up and downs, like from difficult spots, because it's obviously like something I really want to get better at. And it feels good when I'm able to pull it off. So on hole 9, par 4. Another solid tee shot here. Just a little slider up the center. And this was working really well on this day. Like I'll be honest, throughout the last couple months, I've kind of messed around. I'm kind of going back and forth with doing like a draw with the driver and a pull cut. And I do think I've had more success with the pull cut, but the draw does go further. So I might have to continue evaluating that. I'm getting fitted for my sticks this fall with Cobra. In about a week, I'm going out to Colorado to do some filming. And Cobra's head fitter, Ben Showman, some of you guys might have heard of him. We're going to get to work, and he's going to be bringing like 10 or 12 different shafts for my driver and like 7 or 8 different wedges with like 3 or 4 different grinds. And we're really going to be working hard. And since we're going to be out in Colorado, I will definitely be making a video about how far my stock yardages are at 7,000 feet of elevation. I'm frankly very curious myself. So if you guys are excited for that video, let me know down in the comments. So a little bit long with this approach shot. Kind of surprised me. I do remember that shot surprising me a lot because I thought it was right on the button. But honestly not a terrible lag putt there. I was kind of agonizing over whether I should hit a chip shot or a putt. But at the end of the day, I feel like putting it was definitely the right play. So I have about 3.5 feet here. Just going to brush this one on in. And that's kind of been my philosophy with these shorter putts. I just find that if I spend much more than, say, 2 or 3 seconds over the putt, it just never works out, especially those short putts. Like, I just think too much, and I need to try to avoid that at all costs. So, really solid front nine on hole 10, par 5. Sharp bend around the corner here. And I absolutely pulverized this, and probably one of my best drives of the day. I knew it was perfect the second I hit it, just up the left side. And a little bit of uphill left, but very manageable shot. You can see I found myself doing that like panoramic shot every hole because I was just like, oh, this is the best view of the course. And then a hole later I was like, no, this is the best view. And the ante kept being enhanced. So also, before I get too far in this video, I want to give a shout out to my roommate and college teammate from North Texas, Thomas Rosemuller. He actually, as of today, I believe September 18th or something, he locked up his PGA Tour card for next year via points in the Korn Ferry. And now obviously he's still playing, finishing up the season to try to get as many points as possible so he can earn a couple extra starts. But he will have his PGA Tour card next year, and he's been so close for 2 or 3 years now. So it's not only am I super excited for him, it's also very inspiring to me. It makes me feel like, I can do the same thing if I work hard enough at it. So shout out to him. I just don't think people realize how freaking hard it is to get your card. I mean, it's really incredible. And I'm excited to see where things go for him. Maybe I'll join him in a couple years. We'll see. So another really solid birdie there onto hole 11. And again, just another panoramic shot here. 190 yards, a bit into me. Maybe off the left, I would say. So trying to knock a little bit off this 7-iron, keep it from spinning a lot so the wind doesn't knock it down too much. This was a absolutely perfect shot. I was posing on it the entire way, and came up fractionally short, and then it rolled back 4 or 5 yards. It landed, you'll see it in a bit, it landed, I feel like maybe 15 feet from the hole, but it just rolled back 5 or 6 yards. So you can see it landed right there. Maybe another yard or two would have been absolutely perfect, and then just rolled back another, 12 feet. So definitely added a little bit of difficulty to it, but this is a tough course. So a pretty simple shot, though, all things considered. Just pop it up there at the lob wedge and just, let it run out. And that's just pretty much what I tried to do. And that's all I was trying to do there. Just hit her to tap in distance and get out of there with a 3. You guys just wait. The next par 3, let's just say I took some creative liberties with it. You guys will see it in a couple holes. And this might be the prettiest hole in the course, hole 12. And this is definitely the one time I feel like the wind actually kicked up a little bit. Being super exposed off the left side of those cliffs. But you pretty much just want to throw it right up that mound, and I popped this one pretty good. A little bit uphill and into the wind, so it didn't go crazy far. But really good tee shot, and definitely an intimidating shot to say the least. It's just, looking back on this, it really is amazing that, I was able to play courses like this, and, it's just a very, very surreal experience getting to play these places. And the thing about today, it's normally a pretty packed course, and by the way, that green, not ridiculous or what, but it's typically a pretty packed course, and there's a huge group that was scheduled to be going off between I would say noon and 2 o'clock, and the plan was for me to play at 3, and I would probably have enough time to get the round in. But they just up and left the day before. I don't know why. They just probably were ready to be done with the trip, or had to get back a day early. And so I get there, and we're staying in the cottages. There's a few cottages on the island, and I guess not island, but you know what I mean, like the peninsula, and on the Old Head, and I get there at like noon, and there's nobody there. There's not a soul there. And Inda, the head pro, comes out. He's like, "Yeah, you got the course to yourself." And I'm sure you guys might have noticed there's no one out here. And so I think there was like maybe 2 other people who played this afternoon. So I mean, to have because again, obviously it would have been packed if it was a day like this, and there wasn't a huge group that backed out or that was scheduled to be there. But yeah, like, it was surreal to have this course almost to myself with this kind of weather. I mean, it was special. Here it is, though. Here's hole 13. So if you look all the way up in the right side of the screen, up that little mound, you can see where the tee boxes actually are. However, this is a viewing post for some really important rocks out on the left, way out on the left. And I was like, there's enough room for me to swing a golf club here. And it's 310 yards to the green. That's a stock 1 iron. So let's see if I can hit it. And I did. In fact, I wish I could have had Inda's testimony, because he was actually here watching the shot, and he was asking. We were trying to figure out if I was even allowed to hit it, and we did clear it with the people who own the land, but it was pretty crazy, and seeing it in person is even more insane. So a solid 3 there, to say the least. And man, I still get it's just crazy how beautiful this place looks. Just like that shot right there, like just seeing the Irish Sea all the way out there, it's very special. So really great round going too. And obviously what's helping it a ton is I literally could not have easier conditions. I think the greens were pretty standard. The pins weren't super tough, and the wind never got above. It might have gusted on that 12th hole, maybe to 12 or 15 miles an hour here and there, but pretty much it's 5 to 7 miles an hour the entire day. So, you know, when you can do that on a course that counts on there being wind for a challenge, it makes it very easy to score really well. So I do want to preface it by saying that there's no way I would have been under par if it was 20 to 30 mile an hour winds, or I guess I should say it would have at least been a lot tougher to be under par. So hit a really good tee shot. And probably have one of the easiest shots I've had all day here. And I sometimes fall into this trap where, if I have an extremely easy shot, I sometimes put pressure on myself to really stick it close. And it sometimes causes me to hit bad shots, which is kind of funny. But if you guys ever have that issue, let me know, because I definitely feel it from time to time. So, got about maybe 12, 15 feet here to try to grab another birdie. This putt looks good all the way, and it just... Yeah, that was a putter flipper right there. That's how you know I thought I had it. Those are probably the toughest ones, when you're walking in, it looks good all the way, and then it just does a sharp U-turn at the end. So on hole 15, this was a drivable par 4. Obviously, again, just incredible views. And you guys are going to see me slip a little bit here, so just wait till I get to the green. It's pretty funny. I'll just tell you guys right now, I fell on my butt, so just stay tuned for that. So just gonna let it rip with the 1 iron. The green is right over the mound on the right, so this was definitely a little bit to the left, but obviously it was definitely the place to miss, and it tends to funnel down, so I wasn't too upset about that. And it kicked to the right, funneled down a bit, and I had a pretty dicey little shot over. There's a sand trap under there you guys can't see, and this is a lot longer of a shot than it appears. It was probably a 35-yard shot, so it can definitely be tough to judge. And yeah, I went straight under it. So yeah, it's always fun. So, and then here's the slip. So when it rains, it pours. I've always found that's how golf goes. So yeah, quite the sequence of events. So trying to make my birdie, and now I'm hitting my 4th shot, I believe. So I think I might have made a mistake in my pre-editing. I guess when I was putting the text in, I think I totally forgot that I cut under the shot. So I think I might have kind of missed that. So we'll see here. This is obviously my 4th shot, and this will obviously be my 5th shot. So we'll see what I put here, but I think I might have, yeah. So that's for bogey. I apologize for that. I totally I think my brain's just trying to pretend it didn't happen. So that's really -3 through 15. So whatever it says here on out, just add a shot to it. But yeah, this is another beautiful par 3. I didn't realize this must be the 5th par 3 we've had. So a lot of really beautiful par 3s. And again, it's hard to describe how far down that is. That has to be at least 200 to 300 feet down those cliffs. And obviously it sometimes doesn't pick up on the camera as good as it could. But this is a really great tee shot. I mean, I had a crosswind, and I just decided my best bet would be to throw it up in the air. So that's what I decided to do. And hit a really good shot here onto the right edge of the green. Pin high, probably about 15, 20 feet for my birdie. And it really is crazy when you see the sea. It's just, there's no white caps, there's nothing. It just looks like glass. And that's how you know you've picked a beautiful day to play the game. So about 12 to 15 feet here. Try to make my birdie. And by the way, coming up next will be by far the longest hole in the course, by at least 70 yards. So the finishing 2 holes on this course are freaking ridiculous. As if the first 16 weren't crazy enough. So you'll be coming up very shortly. So -3 through 16. And on hole 17, 630-ish, 623. And this thing is a monster. It doglegs a little bit to the left, and it has a slope that runs away. So you really got to put this thing to the left side of the fairway. And I was going to send it, though. I mean, it was a 623-yard par 3. I ain't holding nothing back. So hit this one really hard. Had a good line on it, too. I really like this shot. Just, again, playing that pull cut, I don't know why. Sometimes when I play the pull cut, sometimes I just get a brutal case of the slices. And then there's also times where I'm able to line it up nicely and, just consistently hit that little fade. So it's just a temperamental shot, but when it's on, it's on. So 252 left, 7-iron, and that is an intimidating backdrop, but beautiful nonetheless. Bit of a hanging lie, so really got to guard against missing right. This one was very dicey while I was in the air. It was one of those shots where I felt like as long as nothing crazy happened, I'd be okay, but definitely a lot closer than I needed to make it. I really should have aimed maybe further left than I did and just played away from it more, but I got away with it. Another 7 or 8 yards to the right, and I would have been in big trouble. But as it stands, not a bad spot. A little bit short of the green, but can definitely work with this. So I have a lot of green to work with, so I'm gonna hit the gap wedge, and this thing just took off on me. And I've gotten a lot better since I filmed this with my lower lofted wedges. It's definitely a tool you need to have in your arsenal if you want to get really good around the greens, is being able to hit low runners with lower lofted wedges when you have a lot of green to work with. So I've got about 15, 20 feet here for the bird. And hit by far my best putt of the day, right in the center of the cup. So 4 under through 17. That felt good. That was the one hole I really wanted to birdie. And you can see here, just if you guys want to pause, read some of that. It's just, so it says there's been a light on the headland for 3,000 years. So that's crazy. That's even longer than I remember them saying it was. So that's amazing to me. And this is the walk up to 18. One thing I was sad about is the tee box in 18 is so tight. You got to have a little bit of breadth behind the ball to get a good shot for the camera. So I have this, if you guys can see here, on the front left edge of the tee box with my camera literally leaning against the back cliff. So I couldn't get a great angle of this, but I mean, this hole was freaking nuts. And hitting a shot, sliced a little bit too much, but still safe. And have about, I think it was about 106 yards left the gap wedge. I just looked a lot further than I guess it was. And just trying to play a bit of a flighted shot. I got a little stuck on this one, unfortunately, and didn't quite put enough juice on it. So it landed a bit short and rolled back down. So in the bottom of that little swale. This is actually a really tough shot, by the way. Just a lot of, really had to make sure I elevated it. And a bit of a tight lie too, and just caught a little thick, and didn't run out the way I expected. And so I have this for a par and I believe a 68. And unfortunately, it just stayed up a bit too much on me. So tap that in for my bogey. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Really enjoyed playing this course, and as always, thanks for watching. And like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next Friday for another 18-hole video.